Scott, let me say thank you, first of all. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Let me just say why this is so important. Infrastructure needs in our city are just overwhelming. Billions, I'm not saying millions, I'm saying billions of dollars of work to be done in our city alone. When you all think about just the number of water main breaks we've had, I think 100 in 1 week, am I correct, Mr. Chuck?
600 in 2 weeks.
600 in 2 weeks. Do you know why that is? Because our pipe system is old. And what we've been doing over the years is, I call it kicking the can down the street, but we've been trying to fix it here, fix it there, fix it here, fix it there. We've spent millions. And there are processes that many of you in this room probably don't know about, and I know that this panel will share it with you. But it is incumbent upon us, especially African Americans and other minorities and folks, to really get engaged with the opportunities that will result from this. Because we're not being pre-qualified, am I not right? We're not working in large numbers on these systems. And when I talk about infrastructure, it's not just about transportation, it's not just about the water system, it is also about the number of board of houses that exist in the city. That is part of our infrastructure as well. So when I'm preparing, like we have prepared what I call an opportunity zone package for the federal government to identify neighborhoods in our city that have been neglected for decades. You know, you see what's happened in the EDBI area over in East Baltimore, where not only did they replace boarded up houses, but with the replacement of the boarded up houses comes the replacement of the infrastructure. New lights, new pipes. And here's what a lot of folks don't know. Baltimore City owns the water system for all of the jurisdictions surrounding the city. You know, when I get a call from someone who lives in Hunt Valley to say, hey, can you do something about the pipes that are broke in my area, because they don't do that for them, and we own the system. For Anne Arundel County, Carroll County, Baltimore County, Hartford County, we supply the water. So we have to make sure, and it is such a tremendous asset, and we can't fix it just on the backs of people who live in the city.
I agree.
You just can't do it.
I live here in the city.
And so we're constantly looking, you know, for federal dollars in support, but also understanding the value of our system. Transportation, you all know we turned back $900 million got turned back to the federal government for a transportation system for the Red Line that creates thousands and thousands of jobs.
Sure.
And we turned money that Barbara Mikulski worked years on with our delegation so that we could create a rapid transit system in the city that improves transportation for people living in our city to surrounding jurisdictions. We can do better. But here's my commitment to you all. We've got to grow our businesses. We've got to expand our businesses. And they will tell you at the what we call the pre-board of estimates meeting, as someone said to me one time, they said, well, you know, first of all, we don't know a mayor who sits at every pre-board of estimates meeting. I used to think that the pre-board of estimates meeting was the 15-minute meeting we used to have in the back room before we went out to the board of estimates meeting. And I just tell you all this quick story. I'll never forget my first day in City Hall. I walked in, I'm walking around, I hear all this noise in the conference room, and I walk in, and somebody walks in and says, Mayor, you can't come in because if you do, somebody has to leave. And I'm like, well, what the? So the following week, I go to the what I thought was the pre-board of estimates meeting in the back room. And so they said, page 1 through 79 is routine. I said, well, nothing's routine, I just got here. So I made them go through pages 1 through 19. I don't understand that, pull that, pull that, pull this, pull that, pull that. Where is the MBE, WBE participation? Where's the African American participation? Because if we're ever going to equalize wealth and opportunity in the city, we have to be more inclusive. It doesn't work any other way. We can't build up our city, we can't build up our communities when 67% of the population is African American. It can't grow that way. And so we have to be more inclusive. We have to be more diverse. We have to share opportunity. If we're talking about changing the paradigm for African Americans and other minorities and folks who live in the city. And I am very big on living in the city, working in the city, creating opportunities and taking advantage of the opportunities in the city. We have to do that. And so I know that there are billions of dollars in contracts, and there's a whole, how many people know about pre-qualification?
Sure, you got to be.
Well, everybody doesn't know that. There are certain contracts that are called, especially in public works, pre-qualification. I said, what is pre-qualification? If I'm MBE certified, I thought I was qualified. So I have a whole nother topic around MBE and qualifying, because if you look at me, you know what I look like. But, you know, it's a process, and we get that. But at the same time, there's so many of us who are missing out because we don't even know that process. And I know that Mr. Chow will explain that to you. Department of Transportation, again, Michelle Pushu, millions, billions of dollars in contracts. General Services, loads of contracts being given out. So you all, we got to get in the game, or get in the opportunity, because it's not a game, it's about business. So let's make sure we understand these opportunities, that we are participating, and in some cases we're collaborating, and we're holding people's feet to the fire. And I tell people this is not a charity program, this is about capacity and capability. You know, in some cases we may need to partner. Whatever it takes to be a part of the opportunity, we ought to be willing to do that as long as it's legal. And so I'm excited that so many of you have shown up. I'm really grateful to the congressman for having us do this. And as I said to him time and time again, you can always count on me when it comes to creating opportunities for people in our city. Roadways, bridges, tunnel, our water system. And again, for me, it's about how we increase the opportunities, but more importantly, create a better city for all of us. Increasing your bond capacity, I'm sure that you all will share that information as well. A lot of this work has to be completed in the next few years. So I hope that what comes out of here is valuable to each and every one of you, that perhaps a part of this will be getting to know other folks in this room who have capacity and capability that can partner with you, and knowing how to develop a line of credit with local lending institutions is also going to be important, because this is not work for 3 months or 6 months. This is work for years to come. So hopefully you'll take advantage of this. I look forward to you taking advantage of it, and more importantly, growing your businesses, growing your companies and organizations. We got some great people in this room, and if you don't get the answers that you need, where's Paul Taylor? Make sure y'all hit him up, because he's in the mayor's office with responsibility to increase and expand opportunities for African Americans, other minorities, and individuals in this city who want to do business with our city and do right by our city. Thank you all.
I didn't introduce myself. My name is Scott Phillips, and I'm the project director of the Mid-Atlantic Region Advanced Manufacturing Center, which is a grant from the U.S. Department of Commerce, which was sponsored by the city of Baltimore. So I thank you, because that's why I'm here. But I also want to say, I hope you really listen to what the mayor said, because she set the stage for what we're going to discuss tonight. So I don't have to say much else, but I will say this. The anecdote that she shared as it relates to the Board of Estimates, I've dealt with mayors here in the city of Baltimore for over 20 years as an entrepreneur. She is the first mayor that I've ever known to conduct the pre-Board of Estimates meetings the way she does. I want to commend you for that, because it makes a difference when the mayor says, where is the beef? Madam Mayor, thank you.
Thank you. Can I also acknowledge, I see Verna Jones is sitting here as well. Verna Jones Rodwell is running our Main Streets program. I see Courtney up there. Courtney, so if you're not if you have problems and you're not getting your certification, because I used to beat him up to death at the pre-board meetings, and so he really takes his position very seriously, because I asked the question, why are there not MBEs, WBEs, African Americans on these contracts? And I will pull a contract in a minute, because I know that nobody's doing anything exclusively today, especially this kind of work. Okay? Thank you all. Thanks again.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.